It was in September 1993. I was a PhD student in sociology, and I was heading to New York for a visiting fellowship. I was far too early at the airport because I was so nervous and excited. It was a rainy day, cloudy but warm. I strolled through a bookshop, and I saw a man looking exactly like Detective Columbo, of whom I am fond. After a while, I had a sandwich, and I saw him again. He wore a pale trench coat, and he looked tired. A quarter of an hour later, I went to an espresso bar and had a coffee, and guess what? Here he was again, sitting in a corner. We looked at each other, and we smiled. Like me, he realized that we had met 3 times within an hour. We talked. His name was Jonathan, he was an economist, and he was heading to Singapore. I told him about my PhD project, which was honestly a bit stuck at this moment. I studied social networks after the silent revolution in the former GDR. And I actually wanted to know what happened to networks of friends and family when the whole system is changing. The problem was how to boil it down. He laughed and we talked, and he told me that he knew people in East Berlin, and he was so amazed and triggered that the communist system mingled into the weaker contacts of people. This, he said, is the ultimate control, the weaker ties. Back then, I did not fully understand, but this stayed with me. I never forgot. I became a social scientist, and I have been studying social networks and social cohesion for many, many years. And this is what my talk is about. Do you know the phenomenon of the 6 degrees of separation? It was the result of an experiment undertaken years ago, back then in the 1970s. Respondents got the task to forward a message, a handwritten message on a postcard, through their social network to a stranger, to a person whom they did not know and who lived hundreds of miles away. If I would do this with you, I would give you the task of forward a message to a person, for example, the daughter of the owner of the bookshop Van der Velde at the Grote Markt in Groningen. Nobody knows her probably. And you in the first row would pass the message to your friend and friend of friend and friend of friend. And ultimately, you would hand it over to the so-called target person. Well, the researchers found out that the successful chains consisted of 6 steps of weak connections. Ever since then, it is a popular idea that we can reach everyone in the world through just 6 steps. And this is a great idea. It is fascinating. We are one big family. It's not true, because only the successful chains consisted of 6 steps or handshakes. The majority of respondents failed to pass the message to the target person. And this was because the message did not leave the very bubble, the ultimate tiny circle of stronger ties. And after some trials, the possibilities to hand it over to a new person dried out. So the experiment actually showed that fragmentation exists, that the world is segregated, and that we cannot access other worlds that are distant from us. Why is this important? Do we need contacts to other worlds? Do we need contacts that are weak? Do we need make contacts to strangers? So a weak contact is a contact to a person you know but not well. A person in the street, someone who sees sometimes in the pub, in the gym, a former classmate. If we smile at a stranger, we create a weak contact. And my point is that these weak connections matter. They matter for us as individuals, and they matter for society as a whole. But what is wrong with strong connections? What is wrong with strong contacts? I will give you 3 arguments, but before I will ask you a question, and I would like to have some light. Who of you came with a person? Who of you came with a person here? Well, the majority. Who of you came with a person you actually do not know? I actually do not know why you are here with this person. You have no idea what you will talk about in the break. Hands up. Nobody. And who of you came with a person you really looked forward to meet, and you looked forward to connect, and you are really joyful and happy that you can spend the evening with? Hands up. This is the majority. So, and we all do this. We cherish our strong connections, and this is fine, of course. Take a look at the person you came with, and the lights may go out again, go down again. So, did you realize that the person who brought you here is actually very similar to you? You are similar in many respects. You are similar in cultural background. You are similar in education. If you are not family, you are similar in age. You are similar in preferences. You are going to vote for similar parties in a couple of days. Similarity breeds connection, and this is fine. But it's actually just reproducing what you think, what you know, and who you already are. Did you know that the genetic codes of good friends is more similar than the genetic codes of two random strangers in a population? So similarity is at odds with newness, and it does not challenge our brain. Second, think of the last evening, the last day, weekend, whatever you have spent with your close friends and family. This feels good, right? But did you realize that these persons are not only strongly connected to you, they are also strongly connected to each other? This is fine, and this makes you feeling safe, but it actually means that these networks are literally closed. It is very hard for new persons to enter the network. And within this circle, you are controlled, they control your behavior, they make you act according to their group norms. Third, these strong connections, they are a blessing for many, but they are a mixed blessing, in particular if you have many strong ties and nothing beyond. Did you know that toxic relationships, learned helplessness, power imbalance occur far more often in circles of stronger ties, and even more violence and murder occur more often in circles of stronger ties, much more often than in the wider network. So here you go. This is the problem with stronger ties. They do not connect us with the world, they set us apart. They are at odds with newness, and they pin us down and take us for granted. You don't know what I'm talking about. Well, we all experienced this during COVID. The measures to control the virus went straightforwardly in our network and cut us off our weaker connections. The opportunities, the meeting places where we get in touch with these weaker ties, they were closed down. The bars, the restaurants, the clubs, the gyms, even the streets. Did you remember how this felt? Our networks were frozen. No new person could enter, no one could leave. Did you know that the number of divorces in 2020 was lowest for more than 20 years, even 30 years? And do you remember how desperate we were of all these Zoom meetings? Nothing unexpected happened, no joke, no unprompted idea. We missed the spontaneous conversation, the conversation in a train, the music in the street, the musician who talked us through his biography. We missed the opportunity to smile at a stranger. Because in these very moments, we feel connected. We feel that we belong. And these moments give us hope, inspiration, and new perspective. And they come with our weaker connections. So what can we do? Can we escape? Can we escape these tiny uniform worlds? Yes, we can. Everyone can. Maybe you say, I don't want. I like my bubble. I need it. It's safe, it's comfortable, it's warm. And I understand that. In times like this, I understand it very well. And I do not ask you to give anything up. I ask you to open it up. Maybe you also say, I have thousands of contacts at the social media. Well then, transform these links into real connections. Talk to them, meet them, exchange ideas, unfold the benefits of weak connections. So here's what you can do, and what everyone can do. Become an experimenter. Smile at a stranger when you go to your work tomorrow. Do something unexpected when you are with your stronger ties. Behave as if you are weaker connected. Or enlarge your network actively. Give a second-degree dinner where your guests do not have to bring a material present, but a new person, a stranger to you. There is much you can do. What is your choice? Do you talk to a stranger in the break? We have major problems to solve. The world is reigned by hate, cruelty, and war. And we can only make a difference, we can only make a change if we cherish our weaker connections. This is a step towards a solution. Ultimately, we can turn the world into a world where we dare to smile at strangers and turn them into friends, and where we do become a big family, weakly connected through just a couple of handshakes, 6 or even less. So here comes my wish for all of you tonight. I wish you all a smile from a stranger. Thank you.